Hi, your 5-minute friend here, Charles G.P. We welcome you to the 50th edition of the program 5-Minute Talk, brought to you by Light to Youth, helping youth in their walk with God. Today, we are going to be talking about sex. What is it and why should we talk about it? So what is sex? Well, sex is a gift from God, and sex is intimacy. There is nothing on earth that brings us very close together or that brings us so intimately together compared to sex. Sex is intimacy. It is not a taboo. It is not hedonistic. In other words, it is not like food that we eat it whenever, wherever, and with whomever we want to. No. Sex instead is made for one man, one woman in the confine of marriage. So why should we talk about sex? Well, we should talk about sex because when we look through our windows, when we look through our doors, we see sexual perversion in society. We will hear cases of rape. We will hear child molestation. And we will hear cases of sexual harassment. Forget about pornography. We will hear all manners of sexual perversions in society. But then we seek for a place to go for help. We are running around. We say, okay, you know what? Let's turn to the government for help. But you will hear that government officials are doing the same thing. There are government officials that are sexually perverted. The police, the soldiers, all of them are involved in sexual perversion. So we say, oh, the government has failed us. Let us turn to the church. When we go in the church, we see the same thing there. Members are into one another, having sex outside marriage. The pastors are of no exception. They are after their members. They are sexually promiscuous. Yes. Sexual perversion is even in the church. And then we say, okay, you know what? I think we should go to the family. But when we turn to the family, we are faced with the same problem. Fathers are even taking advantage of their own daughters, and mothers also are taking advantage of their sons. Fathers even sexually molest their sons, which is very, very bad. So sexual perversion is everywhere. And if I should ask us, when did you first hear about sex? When you heard about sex, was it in its God-designed form? Was it delivered to you the way God had designed it to be? Or in its perverted form? But the hard truth is that many of us, if not all, we are exposed to sex in its perverted form. So we tend to believe the lies of sex. You know, the absence of truth helps lies to grow very much faster. So we have to share the truth about sexuality. That's why we should talk about sex. So people can know that, hey, this is not a taboo. Neither is it to be hedonistic, to do it anyway, anyhow, with whomsoever. That's what we should do. We should share the truth. Because we Christians have the truth about sexuality. God has given us the truth in His word about sexuality. And that is why we've decided here at 5-Minute Talk to spend the next few editions looking at sex. We will look at sex, we look at marriage, and we look at the family. Because this is one area we are poorly performing. We are poorly performing when it comes to sex, family, marriage. And we have to rethink. We have to go back to the creator of these things, God Himself. He has not hidden it from us, but He has put in His word His design, His purpose for sex, marriage, and the family. Thank you very much for being with me on the 50th edition of the program 5-Minute Talk, brought to you by Light to Youth. I have been your 5-minute friend, Charles G. Peary. See you next week.